Happy Monday. Come on down. It's time to get busy. Pinky's up to you, Yvonne. Nice to see you. Come on in, everyone. Yvonne's here. I'm so glad to see you. How was everyone's weekend? Hello, Sarah. And Jennifer's here. Yay. Hello, Jennifer. 2 Jennifers right in a row. How about that? And there's Helen. Hi, Cynthia. Cheryl, I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. Joanne, hello. Heather's here in the house. So is Mary Ann. You ready for some motivation? Me too. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Juanita. There's Teresa. And Mia's there. Hello, Laura. Hi, Margot. Yes, mindset is everything. We're going to be mindsetting our little fannies off. Hi, Norma. Julie's here. You haven't watched the workshop yet? Hopefully you will today. Yes, it's a good, you know what? I feel really good about what we just did. Good to see all of you all. Thank you so much for showing up and getting ready for our big day. It is Motivational Monday. It is Motivational Monday. And you know what a good motivation is? To start your Monday off with a really good quote. Now, when I give you these quotes, I sure hope you write them down, or you can even copy them off. We have them posted here all the time, right here in our Saving Dinner Facebook. And those quotes are on purpose to help you to really start thinking about things. And this one should light your brain on fire. It did mine. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves, something just happened, make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. Boom. Can you imagine? The amount of work is the same. Whether we can make a decision at any point. And remember, this is what it is all about. We are in the decision-making business on a daily basis. And not making a decision is also making a decision. When we default to nothing, we default to usually a lesser than decision. But we can't get our way out of it, you guys. We have to be making decisions. We can proactively make decisions for ourselves or accidentally make them against us because we have just decided it's too hard, too difficult, to fill in the blank for us to make a decision. But you know what? This quote says it all. The amount of work is the same. This is from Carlos Castaneda. He wrote that quote. I read him a lot. I shared that with you yesterday in college. It's incredible. It's incredible. You know, we're always going to have some kind of work to do. Where do you want to garden? You know, do you want to garden the weeds or do you want to garden the flowers? You know, what's more productive? What's going to give you the better benefit? You're going to feed the weeds, give them everything that they want, let it just be this big mess? Or are you going to weed out the things that aren't flowers, the things that aren't vegetables, the things that are not producing fruit in your life? That's what this is saying. That's profound. We have work to do. We can either do work for us or against ourselves. That's a profound thing. I hope you enjoyed the conference this Saturday. This Saturday we had just the best time. Marla and I, at the end of it, we were just a little spent, not gonna lie. I mean, that's 8 hours of doing your thing, but it was such a blast. And we've had so many wonderful testimonials. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you have a testimonial, send it in to support@savingdinner.com. Tell us what you think. Also, if you have an idea for a conference or a workshop or a masterclass or something that you would like to see us teach on, send it in. Support@savingdinner.com. We love your comments. We love your input. We love your feedback. It really helps us, and it helps us to become better than what we were doing before. That's always important. So I appreciate that. And if you want to still do the Happy Mama workshop, it's there for you. You just have to go purchase it. It's at savingdinner.com/mama. You'll still get the great discount that we're offering in both of our shops. You'll still get that massive swag bag. And you'll also get all the teaching that you need in order to start your school year off well. Don't you love stuff like that? Go to savingdinner.com/mama. It's right there for you to take a peek at and a look at and get signed up for, and we'll send it to you and you watch the whole thing. No, I didn't show my house. We made a decision not to show my house because it was going to be too difficult. I will do the show and tell in my house, though. I will give you guys a house tour of how I do my house. I will do that because I've had questions about that, and I will even open up my dresser drawers. I'll show you everything. I mean, I have nothing to hide except my office is just, well, you can kind of see behind me right over here. That is all my research stuff over there, and it's still just quite a mess. The office is the hardest thing for me. I have a hard time with that one. But at one point, I will get this done, and I'm really looking forward to wrapping up the book. I have a couple of chapters left that I need to finish up on, and it will be done. It just needs to be edited and gone through. The big thing, and then that research table is going to go, and I'm going to put all that research away or get rid of it or whatever I have to do. But it'll be really nice. I like a cleaner room. I like less things. Right now it's kind of cluttered. So there. You want holiday prep and fun? Oh yeah, that's a good one, Michelle. I think we're going to do a holiday one in October. So mark your calendar for that. It'll be a really fun one. And likely, we have all all things, thank you, Anna. Messes are a sign of intelligence. Thank you, Anna. But we have all the things, and we have so many ways, like all the food and decorations and all the things that you can do for the holidays without spending a dime. We have lots of different things that you can do, and I've done this for years. I used to decorate. People used to always say, God, what a beautiful Thanksgiving table that you have. And all of it came from the grocery store. I'd buy little pumpkins a little bit at a time. I'd buy, I'd buy the whole nuts and put those out. Then I'd go out in the yard, I'd get some pine cones and, clean them up and wash them and stuff to make sure that I wasn't bringing a bunch of bugs and spiders in, and just make this beautiful, centerpiece. Throw a few votives candles in there, and it's just nothing, but it's beautiful. And I have some pictures. I can show pictures and things. So we will do some show and tell, and I'll bring some things in to show you, how things can be done and how you can do it without having to break the bank and buy all these things and craft your way through hot glue gun madness. Hot glue guns and I are just mortal enemies. I hurt myself more times than not on those things, so I'm just not a big fan. Don't forget, this Friday is Q&A, so send your questions into support@savingdinner.com, and in that subject line, really important question for Leanne on Friday, so that it gets put into my question pile, and I will answer that for sure for you this Friday. And a lot of people have been asking me, where is the link for the workshop, the webinar? I've got a webinar this Thursday for people. It's called Take Back Your Life, how to take back your life. Because we get so wrapped up in all the stuff. And I want to get you to the place of not being so wrapped up that you don't have any time for you. Having time for yourself and taking back your life, taking back your waistline, taking back your thoughts, taking back your home and your heart, mind, and soul is everything. And that's what we'll be talking about on Thursday night at 7 p.m. You can sign up for this. It is 100% free. It's at savingdinner.com/life. Life, L-I-F-E. And that will get you over there so that you can sign up and get your link. You want to do that. Do that early, as a matter of fact. Smart, so that you don't have to think about it. Just open another tab right now. Jennifer said she's excited for the webinar. I love this webinar. It's not like I haven't done it before, but I'm a big believer in doing live webinars. I don't like, here's a recording, go watch this. You don't feel the energy in it. But when you have a live webinar and you have live people there, you can really share and have a lot of go back and forth. There's great questions that are being answered. I just love it. It just makes such a difference, doesn't it? So don't forget to sign up for that. Also, don't forget to take advantage of our Obaya Omega-3 X. This is fish oil. Now, fish oil is one of those supplements that we don't get enough of. Honestly, this needs to be in the core 4. This would be the core 5. This would be the 5th one. Most of us have an omega-3 fatty acid deficiency. In men, this doesn't show up very nicely. It's called erectile dysfunction, y'all. Sorry, had to say it. For women, it's part of heart health. For our brains, it's part of our brain health. This is everything, and it's so much so we're missing out on all those omega-3 fatty acids. The only place to get them really is fish. You can get some from chia seeds, but this is full spectrum. It's also a dried omega-3 fatty acid, and you know what I like about that? It will never go rancid. So it's fantastic. You got to get it, grab it, put 3 in the cart. We'll add the 4th one for free. And when you're checking out, you'll see ships. You'll have a little promo window, and it's ships free. Put ships free, all one word, and we will send it to you as long the shipping will be on us as long as you're here in the United States. It is a capsule, yes. And somebody was asking something else. Oh, yes, you can download the app if you want to, for the Crowdcast app if you want to. Some people say it's easier, some people don't. I've never done it. You will always have it though. You don't have to have the app, but you can have the app. Some people say it's easier, some people don't. Some people use it, some people don't. I never have. So I'm just letting you know, however you want to go about it. The other thing that we're going to be talking about today, and this is the crux of it, is have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard the term "it's subject to change without notice"? Have you ever had one of those kind of things that you've seen like on a commercial, or you get that in some paperwork that you're signing, and it says subject to change without notice? I saw that the other day, and it made me laugh out loud because I was thinking about how we ourselves are subject to change without notice. We change our minds, and we forget to sometimes tell other people that we've changed our minds on something. You know, for example, have you ever been in the position where you've made a decision like, oh my gosh, what she said just really, oh yes, and I've heard people say this to me. Yes, Leanne, yes, this is so true. I need to give up the carbs. And then you give up the carbs for you and your family, and you forget to tell your family, and they're like, hold the phone. Where's the spaghetti? What do you mean this zucchini? What's this hot melt spaghetti stuff? I don't want a pile of zucchini. I want my noodles. So if we are subject to change without notice, and we are not giving any notification to anyone, we're worse than those awful infomercials. We're worse than all of the hidden contract stuff, because we have in our minds all of these ideas, this new stuff that we have in our minds of things that we want to do, and we forget to tell the people around us what we're doing. Worse is that we expect them to just jump right on that bandwagon with us and just say, yeah, let's do that. Even though I've told you before, I don't believe that there is a bandwagon. There is a new idea, a new hot topic, and we have a tendency to say, it's time for you to jump on that bandwagon with us, and they don't want to. They're perfectly fine eating all those crackers and cheese for snacks, over and over and over again. They're perfectly fine with that. We have to take a minute and take a step back and start to think about what we're doing. If we're doing any kind of changes that are going to have any kind of impact on anybody else in our lives, we have to be somebody who gives notice, and we can't expect complete compliance either. We can't just throw down the contract the way that they do in those, greasy commercials or whatever, and expect that they're just going to come alongside. And you've seen that, buy this, we'll just for the shipping and handling, we'll throw in an extra one for free. And then you find the shipping and handling to be like $30. We get surprised and kind of jacked around by sleight of hand, smoke and mirrors, and something that looks like a better deal than it is. And when we are like these shysters with our own families, because we haven't bothered to tell them what we're up to, what we're going through, what we plan on doing with ourselves, our families feel like you do when you find out that the shipping is going to be like $30. Do you see where I'm going with all of this? We need to become women who are communicative. Not only that, and also we are allowing people to either jump onto our train with us, or they don't have to participate at all and not have our feelings hurt. There's a lot of times, most times, I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, when you've made a decision for your diet, for your exercise, for your whatever, even your hydration, whatever it is that you've made a decision for your own life, there are people around you who are not going to sign up. They're just not. As good as it might be, as researched as it might be, as helpful as it might be, even for them who might be in worse shape than you are, they just may not decide that they want to sign up. For them, it feels subject to change without notice. You're going to slide something in. It's sneaky. You don't need to be doing that. What you do need to do is be owning your own stuff, owning your own change, being committed to your own work, and not so much worried about everybody else jumping on your little bus. Because I'll tell you right now, you know where the struggle lies? The struggle lies on come on everybody, let's do this all together now, and having your family sign up. On the conference on Saturday, a woman had asked a question about getting her daughters, I think her daughter or son, on board with eating because they both needed to lose weight too. And I'll tell you something right now. It does not matter if they need to lose weight or not. It does not matter who needs to do what, because it has to be something that they buy into themselves. It needs to be something that they see is the way to go. And I will tell you, there is nothing more powerful than your own example. You don't have to say a word. You just need to do what it is that you need to do. And you know what happens sometimes too? I know you guys know this, and I know you've experienced this. I had this happen with me that it really upset me. And when I was doing an extended fast, I fasted for 32 hours, and I shared, look, I fasted for 32 hours. I never thought I could do this. But I just seriously wasn't hungry. I did it for my hunger hormones. And when we correct our hunger hormones, our hunger, we go through some things. We might be hungry all the time. We might be, finding ourselves just not hungry like I did for this 32-hour fast. But I had somebody wrote in, and she was actually a coaching client, and she was like, you are promoting starvation. You're promoting eating disorders. You're promoting all this stuff, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get out of here. And she quit and all of that. And I was upset about that. I'm not gonna lie. I was really upset about that. And it really, this is the thing, that words, and even though this wasn't true, even though that wasn't at all, she didn't follow the science, she wasn't interested in it, she wasn't interested in hearing what I had to say about it. It happens all the time. There's going to be misunderstandings. But what I noticed about it that upset me even more was that I took it to heart in a way that it disrupted my own fasting. I stopped doing my extended fast. And I thought to myself about it later and thought, what is up with this? Why was I doing that? And I was thinking, well, it kind of was a subject to change without notice right there. I did to myself. I was doing these things. I was enjoying it. It was feeling good. My body was doing all kinds of chemical good things, the metabolic cleanup, the autophagy, etc. And I cut it off and shut it down because that one comment. How often do you do that? How often do you shut it down and take it offline simply because somebody gives you a comment that isn't so nice? Or they're telling you something, or they're pulling out their amateur business card that says, I am an amateur nutritionist. Huh? Have you had that one happen to you before? Where they're just telling you, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that. And more often than not, it's somebody who's, has weight issues themselves and has gone through all kinds of things, and maybe is on a plethora of medications, and they're giving you nutritional advice and weight loss advice. Come on. But it happens. Because everybody now is an expert. Everybody has read somewhere that this, that, and the other thing. Well, if you do this, this is going to happen. Well, I don't know about that. And it's just like somebody sees some wingbat, crazy town, Facebook or meme, and therefore that's true. Without even bothering to fact check it, without even bothering to see if this is really true, without even bothering to find the research that's supposedly backing up this supposed truth that they're trying to, judge you on, that they're trying to school you on. And it drives me batty, but you've got to prepare for that stuff because that's going to happen, because that is subject to change without notice, right? People are always going to be jumping into your lives and really willing to share their advice and their infinite wisdom of something that they know nothing about, period. And if it can happen to me, I know it can happen to you. We cannot allow these people's opinions, especially the uneducated ones, especially the ones that say, I read somewhere, or I heard, or Facebook showed me, or whatever, without doing their research. We cannot allow these people to come into our lives, dump their crazy town on us, and then expect that, we can just, brush it aside and move on. We have to have the mechanisms to be able to do that. And the mechanism is that we need to check in with ourselves. We need to start looking and examining our own hearts, our own souls. What's our motivation? Well, I'll tell you right now, my motivation for fasting was I wanted to feel better. I wanted the metabolic cleanup. I wanted the benefit of autophagy. I wanted the extra weight loss. I wanted to get off a plateau. I had nothing to do with any kind of crazy, how long can I go without, before I pass out and I weigh 90 pounds and become anorexic. And nothing to do with any of that. But people come at you with their own perspective. This particular woman that I'm talking about had a relative that had an eating disorder and was very affected by it, and therefore she thought that's what I was promoting. Well, you guys know me. I don't promote that. What I do promote, though, however, is being in touch with who you are and what you're all about. And our physiology, your physiology, our collective physiologies are all different. And we need to be corrective of that part. We need to be customized and personalized to fit every single one. That's what you're going to find out today, or Thursday rather, in our my webinar on Take Back Your Life, because I really want to be able to hit this point home. That's why so many diets have failed you. That's why you're not able to get to where you want to go. That's why you keep losing and gaining that same 4 to 5 pounds or 10 to 20 pounds or whatever it is, and you can't get to where you want to go. It's because we're stuck with this whole thing, and we need to look at things instead of looking and comparing ourselves to everybody else. We got to get into the weeds of our own soul, of our own lives, of getting to the place of understanding what all these different things do. There you go, Heather. She said, your plan has stopped me from grazing. Well, we need to understand why grazing all day long is a problem. We need to understand how all of this operates so that we can go beyond that and we can start creating the life that we want to lead, the food that we want to eat, and get to the weight we want to be. Without the pain, without the agony, without all the other things that come with feeling bad. We feel bad mentally, we feel bad physically, we feel bad emotionally, and our thought life is consumed with how much we weigh, what we're doing, and what the scale says for that day. And I don't want to be pushed around anymore by my weight. I don't want to be pushed around anymore by what the scale's telling me. Sometimes for some people, getting on that scale first thing in the morning, what does it tell you? It tells you how you're going to feel for the day. It says, hey, because this number isn't what you were hoping it was going to be, because it was under or over or whatever, it's going to either give you a good day or a bad day. And we need to stop that, because that's part of the Carousel Crazy. And that's part of the things that completely demotivates and takes us, unplugs us from that momentum that we so desperately need. Motivation's one thing, but momentum's everything. And when we are doing the correct things, the corrective things that we need to be doing, and understanding this supplement works for this, eating this way works for that, moving this way, getting the hydration in and sleeping all helps to make this and that happen. You've heard me talk about all these things, at different times. But when we put them all together, we can see a lifestyle that is, pointed toward change that we want. Not just this unannounced change, not just this unannounced subject to change without notice and with all these wham-bams, crazy things that surprise us and upset us. We need to be in the place of evaluating and creating the life that we want to lead. So we need to communicate that, don't we? We need to communicate that with the people that we love, and we need to involve them as much as we can. We can't change our minds with the kids. With the kids, they've made a decision. They've made a decision just like you did earlier about what it is that they're going to eat, and we can't go in there and just like completely upset and change their whole pantry. Younger kids, we can. Younger kids, we can have a family meeting and make a decision and say, you know what? I have, blame it on me. I've been with a nutritionist. This is what she's told me. This is what we need to do for my health, for your health, for the health of our family. This is the path that we need to go on. And this is what we're going to do. And here are some of the changes. And here's how I'm going to help you with this. And when we do these things, we have an opportunity to promote growth with each other. We have an opportunity to constantly communicate and find new ways that work for all. Find new ways that work for all. But when we just go through and we take care of and get rid of all of everything in the pantry and say there will be no more Oreos, here, have a leaf of kale. Are we making friends and influencing people? Heck no. Let me just tell you, if you want to put people against you, that's what you do. We have to be a little bit more gentle than that. We have to bring people along, and we also have to set the example. And implement those changes, put them in place, develop changes, and constantly be looking, how do I refine this? How do I change this? How do I communicate this in a loving way? How do I not turn myself into a short order cook and create a meal that everybody will eat and then just add their starch on it or whatever? What are the things that I need to do? When we have this idea of we're going to change this, or I'm going to change this about my life, or whatever, if it involves anybody else in the house, those are the steps that we have to go through. But I will say, if it just involves you, you still need to go through all of these things. And you still need to kind of check in with yourself and make sure, I'm okay with this. I can change this. I can get rid of, for example, the wine every night, I can get rid of the wine every night and make a decision. I'm going to go drink mineral water instead. I will save this. I will save that for another occasion. But you have to make changes. We're always making changes. But I'm just saying, I don't want to be in that place of subject to change without notice. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes the rug pulled from underneath them, or, don't touch my cheese, right? Have you heard of that one? Yeah, Cynthia, don't you think no more Oreos? Here's a leaf of kale. Do you think that would go over well? Now, I might be a little bit of a hyperbole, but it's the same kind of a deal. We push things on. We drop these bombs on our family and hope that, hey, hope you enjoy that. Let's see how long this lasts. And that's the other thing, our stuff doesn't last. We're, flashing in a pan here and flashing in a pan there because we're part of the Carousel Crazy. We're still on to that, thinking, this is the one. I will tell you what the one is. The one is the one that works for you, that's customized and a personal fit. We're going to talk about that in great detail and how that all works on Thursday. So make sure you're signed up, savingdinner.com/life / Did I say that right? Or did I say /life? Yeah, that's better. So that's where we are. Those are the things that we need to be doing. Those are the needle movers of our lives. We cannot be affected by what everybody else thinks. We cannot be affected by what it is that they want to do. If they don't want to come with us, that's okay. That's okay. And you'll probably still have to buy the Oreos. But if you do want to go forward, if this is something that you want with your life, then you're going to be looking at it with those glasses that show you that this is subject to change. This is subject to change with notice. With notice. And you have the ability to do that with your life and to change it the way it fits. Not just trying to shove that round peg into that square hole. I found that doesn't work. It never has. And it never will. Unless you want to stay on the Carousel Crazy, that is. Which, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted from it. Completely exhausted. So let's remember that if we need to change, we acknowledge that need to change, and we understand the need that we have to change. Maybe we've had a diagnosis of some sort, or we've got pain, or we're just feeling crappy all the time. Well, there's a notification for you. Use that. We have to remember that if we're going to involve people, family in our life, they need to be notified ahead of time of what's going on and get into this healthy communication with our families, and be willing to allow them to push back and say no. And you know what? If you have to do a little short order cooking or whatever, I'll show you how to, you can just ask me about it, but I can show you how to batch cook and cook for yourself and still keep cooking the crap that they want to eat if you cannot get them at all on board. If that's the case, that's going to be a little bit harder. Are you willing to take that on for yourself? That's a thing to think about. And then we also have to make those plans, right? Don't we? Always. We always have to make the plans. But making a plan is where a lot of us get caught up in the perfectionism of making the perfect plan, and then we never implement it. But so if we're going to make that plan, we need to go to the next step and absolutely implement it on point. Without implementation, your plans are just, made for nothing. And then we always have to be looking at it too. As we make these plans, we have to keep going back and evaluating where we are. How can I fine tune this? How can I make this better? How do I make this more personal and customized for myself? Because that is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to go. That is the thing that's going to say, okay, so here's where we are. Here's where we need to go. And here is what's not working anymore. Because sometimes something that was working in the beginning doesn't work anymore. And if you've ever been on a diet, you know about that. It's called a plateau. Well, we plateau on our plans too. They need to be looked at and refreshed and occasionally changed up a little bit. And, if we get overly emotional and we get overly, crazy about all of this stuff, what happens? We get locked in that. That's the thing that we're looking at. That's the thing that's expanding. And we're not getting to the place where we can change things up the way we need to. So keep that in mind as you're going through and you're starting to think about this whole idea of making changes in your life. Sometimes you're going to get people on board with no problem. Other times they're not going to want to listen. But whatever it is that you do, I think the most important thing that you can do, and this is absolutely crucial for your heart, mind, and soul, is that you need to be very communicative of what the heck it is that you're doing and what you're going through and what you plan on doing. And let people know. If they're not going to come on board, no worries. Stay the course and keep refining your plan so that it's going to make all the difference for you, because it will. And I'm going to tell you something. Your example shines. I remember when I was... this is a few years ago, and I had a few pounds that I wanted to lose. I was probably about 20 pounds heavier than I am now, but I really wanted to get really down there, and I just did it. My daughter my daughter was not living with me. She was married and this, that, and the other thing, and she decided on her own, just by watching me and my example, and did the same thing that I did. And it started with just doing a bar class together. We were doing a bar class together, and that just kind of one thing led to the other. And this is what happens when we tell people what we're doing, but we don't preach at them and tell them what to do and be that know-it-all that you're, when you've got friends who suddenly decide to become amateur nutritionists. That's the dividing line right there. So keep that in mind. Your example is everything. And you being consistent is everything. And that's the thing that's going to be remembered. And that's the thing that they're going to look back on. Whether they decide to join you or not isn't the point. You're doing this for yourself, right? It's about you. That's what I have for you today. And somebody was just asking, how do you do this? Asking about the webinar this Friday. How about if we do the right day? This Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's at savingdinner.com/life to sign up. And this is to get to the Take Back Your Life webinar. It's free. It's an hour, and there's going to be Q&A afterwards, so you can ask questions. But it's a good webinar, and I love this. This is how you're going to find out how to get coaching with me one-on-one. how to really move the needle in your life, heart, mind, and soul, and also how to get off the carousel of crazy. You know, it's going to take a minute. I promise you this, it is going to take a minute. You never do it just like instantaneously. I wish. But this whole program is a year. I'm going to tell you all about it, take you through it. There will be actionable things that you can take away from this webinar. So do show up. It's at savingdata.com/webinar. And don't forget about our supplement of the week. Buy 3, you'll get a 4th one free. Put 3 in the cart and we'll add the 4th one for you. And don't forget, ships free is your code. And if you've got $200 worth of supplements in your cart, I'm going to send you this mindful mug and a little note. These are the note cards, and people love my little notes. I just want to know that I think about you all the time. I pray for all of you, and I appreciate you. Vimy, you know what? We all don't feel we have the willpower, but I'm going to tell you what, you do have more. You have a lot more power than you think. Show up on Thursday, and I'll tell you all about it, okay? savingdata.com/life at 7 p.m. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for our next show. And I'm excited. I already have the subject all picked out for you. It's going to be a needle mover, so make sure you show up. Peace out. I appreciate you. Bye.